Come on back up here. Let's get warmed back up again a little bit, I guess. Grab a partner. We're going to keep going with some waza and move into more strategy, right? So kind of the concept I have here today. Before we do that, anybody that's like a senior person, please go sign Mr. DeVore's diploma, and then we'll jump back in. All right, so kind of where we're heading here. I talked a little bit about Gyo and Heyo, right? Gyo being technique, Heyo being strategy. When we get up to like communicate with certain folks, you're like, well, why is this person beating the hell out of me, even though I might be faster than them, or younger than them? That's the master propellant to beat the hell out of us all the time. You have to get to the point where you stop thinking about technique. Not you guys. All right. So, for more senior people, if you spend your time thinking about the technique, how you're going to do it, you're not spending your time thinking about your opponent and how you're going to beat them. Right? So, it's the famous Sun Tzu Musashi type of thing. If all I think about is me, saving me, I'm going to lose every time. Right? I'm going to save myself. I'm going to lose every time. If I think 50-50, I don't want to die here, but I think I want to beat the hell out of him. 50-50. It's equal. If all I think about is crush this guy, I'm not going to lose. To get there, you have to stop thinking about technique and tactics and think about strategy. Anybody ever think about strategy? What it means versus a tactic? Most people never get past tactics. Right? And the analogy I always use is like, you can't be like, go out there to kumite and suddenly inside your eyes like Terminator, like with all these like throws, seeking, step aside. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. Strategy happens without thinking about the techniques that apply it. Now we're going to use techniques to kind of teach you that, but eventually all that goes away. Which means you have to drill the hell out of your techniques correctly, so you do them correctly every time with muscle memory. And there's a very important thing that goes along with it that drills it into your head. I've probably done it with you. Like, we'll be out there sparring, somebody going, how did you see that opening? How did you know I was going to do that? I don't know. You know how? Because I wasn't thinking about it, right? And just kind of allowed it to happen, right? It's not like I'm trying to plan those things out. You have to allow them to happen. One of the things that makes your techniques work and makes them part of your subconscious is your breathing. Breathing is super important. And not because you're just throwing a ki. There are two things in the human body that are both conscious and subconscious. Unless somebody that's like a medical person can tell me no, these are the two I know. Blinking and breathing. I can stop blinking for a while. But eventually my brain goes, idiot, your eyes are drying out, and I've got to blink. Right? Same thing with breathing. And eventually your body goes, you got to breathe. But I can control that. One of them is very tiny. The other one is my entire body. So if I breathe when I do my techniques properly, it drills it into my subconscious, into your lizard brain, where it becomes the thing you do versus having to think about it. That's why breathing is super important. I pick on my students about it all the time. How many times do you hear me say, relax, breathe, right? And it's not just because it makes the techniques correct, it makes them stronger, it makes them better. It makes it part of your subconscious brain. So when you're training, when you're teaching people, make sure that they're doing that, because that makes it part of their subconscious, so you don't have to think about it. So strategy can happen, and it happens. The famous Master Durant statement: if you have to think about doing karate, you're not doing karate. You don't have to think about it. But you can't be out there saying sloppy technique, because then you're going to say all this crap Mullins taught me didn't work for what? Because I went out there and do a punch like this. So you still have to throw it accurately, right? But there is a progression as you do these things. From doing the calisthenics up to doing kumite and sparring that make it work. One last piece of lecture around sparring. We'll see how far we get today. But we're all practicing a striking art, right? How often do you hit somebody or be hit?
Outside of class?
In class. I mean like, hit them. You have to. You have to. That doesn't mean you kill each other. But when you, and I know, like, post-COVID, my class is very small. It's all senior folks. And I guarantee you, if somebody came into the dojo to watch Mr. Trout and I spar, they would run screaming. Because we're honest to God hitting each other. We pad up and hit each other. If professional boxers and MMA guys can go and train and hit each other, so can we. And we can do it without injuring each other. And you learn how that feels. There are other methods you can use, and this is one we're leading up to. Yes, I'm going someplace. For how we can get there without smashing each other too bad. And it's great training, and it toughens you up. It's called kote kite. Anybody ever heard of it? It really means arm body strengthening. So, when we partner up, preferably with somebody your own size. It's kind of important. So, and nobody's your size, so we'll pick somebody else that knows they're not going to keep it. Is it big? Yeah, enough. Yeah, give it a ticket. Give it Mr. Trout. So, couple of different ways. Yes. Anybody who's been to my dojo has probably done it. So we're going to start with kind of a marote type thing. We're going to start opposite side Edari Zenketsu with the marote up here. Okay. When I give the command, you're going to pivot, block this way, make contact. Start easy, start working up. You don't want to be way up here, you don't want to be way down here. Just right. So pivot. Now, what's important is you'll notice I didn't go, because I'm not trying to smash him. I'm just trying to go to one spot right in the middle. And start working it up harder and harder and harder. Now, every so often, I'm going to point to somebody, and when I do, you drop your arm so they don't hit you. And I don't want to see somebody fly across you. How do we make sure that we're not hurting each other? I guarantee you somebody walking over with out arm. So when we think about a block, an PK, it's not a block. I am not coming straight across and trying to stop Mr. Trout here. We're both making contact and rolling, right? If we do this correctly, no matter how hard we do it, there's going to be a force vector that's going to move it. It should be like those tennis ball machines, right? They're both spinning, that tennis ball comes out. Same thing, we both spin, the force comes out this way. If one of us is going straight in and he's turning, all the power is going to go right into me. Bang, ow, that hurts. If we both just come straight across, thump, ow, that hurts, right? If we roll, yes. Now, after we do this one for a while, we're going to go down and do Ginabarai, same way, right? Come this way, back. Roll. This is one where everybody smashes their wrists on, right? Pivot. And the front one. Out the arms and puffing up the body. So as we pivot, and dead center. If you do this correctly, everybody should have little knuckle marks in a very small area. If we do it incorrectly, everybody's going to be bruised from here to here. Okay? And we definitely don't want to hit each other in the sternum because that ends the drill really quickly. Okay? Now, it works if you're throwing your sequence properly and roll. And roll, right? I'm not, right? coming straight in. So we both just pass each other, make contact at the same time, breathing out. Anybody that's one of those Mr. Capella lessons where he's trying to teach us the unbendable arm and the breathing, this is exactly it. All right, so get with your partner. We're going to do Marote first. Don't look at me like that. Everybody's like, this guy's nuts. So you should kind of be at a diagonal to each other. There you go. Yeah, so let's just take a little more diagonal. Yeah, that's it. So facing, like, passing each other with your centers. Right? So that's that. What this tells me is there's another little lesson. I want to get it. This is the mind. We're controlling the mind. We're both using the mind. Right? If one person gets a little too aggressive and takes over the mind, the whole drill goes down. So, right. Here we go. Got to use Ki when we do this, right?
We're just doing the Marote blocks?
Just the Marote to start. So every time you do that, pivot 90 degrees and block. Do it on my command. Ready? Breathe. Ki. Past your shoulder. We don't want to collapse it too much. We'll do an extension. That's it. Extend and be in the middle of the block. Yeah, so it should be pivoted, walk that way. So this time when you go, walk that leg.
Oh yeah, I thought we were switching for the second
All right, now let's hit Gita Barada. Make sure we roll. Right, so we go, we're going to come up, roll. A little twist with the arm, a little bend in the wrist. All right, so now let's take, and now we're going to do both off of one pivot. So as we pivot, we come one, okay. Don't think about it, just do it.
It's like our elbows start moving. They're just staying everything together.
That's not bad. Moves with your hips. Move with the hips, right? So even if we're doing both, there's still going to be 2 hip motions, right? So it's not just all arm. Look at where we're at by extension. My arm's on it. The other thing is, you guys are completely parallel. That's why that happened. You get a little bit of the diagonal. So you step your foot out. Yeah, so now your face is not lined up with his arm, right? If you're square, your face is lined up with his face. That's not such a good thing. We don't want to toughen our face too much. We could. Some people's faces are tough. It's an So now let's move up to everybody's favorite, Seagap. So start again with that. Jutsu. And again, it's important that we're at this diagonal to each other. We're not perfectly square. We're here, and we're going to end up hitting dead center, right? So as we give the command, push out with your stomach, right? Should feel perfect. Don't kill me now, but as I pivot, if I suck in, that doesn't feel good at all. I'm actually trying to drive out into my opponent. And you should have that area, right? Shouldn't be fist marks all over this guy. Don't hit each other in the sternum, please. And you people that are doing this, push out, just breathe, reach out. Start easy, work your way up, right? Don't just start blasting each other, because the point here isn't, I'm gonna knock you over. It's, we wanna be able to do this as long as we can. Feel that, feel that impact. You cannot learn to fight in a striking arc without hitting the lead in. You'll find a lot of times what you learn is, damn, my wrist is loose. Or, ow, I hit the knuckle. Right? We want it to be good, solid strikes every time. And for us, it's the concept of kime, right? Everybody knows what kime is? Focus. Beyond just focus, it's focusing that strike right where it should be. Right?
It's not as powerful as you want to be ready. You got longer arms.
You gotta breathe. This makes it part of your muscle memory. Kill each other. You guys are this is good 110% right now. Work your way up. Right to 11. Yes. Work your way up to that. Run the wrong side. We can do it. without killing each other. I swear we can. Okay. Elbow out too much. You're doing this. Bring it straight in. Drive those two buttons. Get it on the balls and the feet as you do this. Grip the ground with the toes. So, another little trick. As I'm doing these, when I'm moving, before my foot even touches the floor, I try to squeeze my toes together. Then they go on the floor like the pad of a cat. Not like the toes of a monkey. Right? So if my toes are all spread apart, it's super hard to pivot. You can see my toes grinding in. If they're squeezed together, it makes my foot solid. Now I can move and I can grip the floor with my toes. Right? You should be able to squeeze your toes together. Set them on the floor. Correct. Spend the whole class on that, really. Okay. So you are allowed to ask. So just relax. Get to aggressive young men like this. It's like, I don't want to be the alpha guy. I'm going to hit you a lot. You're going to take it. This is how you deal with that guy. I'm not going to hit you. As he does these, I don't care how hard you do. Eventually his arm's going to get tired. You see his arm popping out. Well, look at this. Throw a good punch. That's how you do it. Don't even hit him back. Anybody can do this. Right? It's much more impressive to you. And I'll tell you a story. Years ago, at a tournament. For some reason, there's a weird thing where there's going to be a Goshin team. And we're going to fight the Canadian team. Which is really good. It's great. Let's fight the Canadian team. And there's a guy, I think he's still around, Gaffar Adams. Oh, Gaffar. Yeah. So, I'm like, oh, this guy's pretty high in the ranks. He's probably going to be a top fight. What am I going to do here? Come out, he's going to do a reverse punch, just try to hit you in the midsection. What do you do? Crack! I hear it crack, wrist bend over. Oh! Yeah! You can't hit that hard. That's right. It's like, oh, I told you. You got the first point, but I controlled the mind. After that, it's like, uh-oh. I think this guy's hard as I want. He's just going to laugh. That's part of this. Right? You have to know when you get into a fight, there's no reason to be harder than you do this. Right? And you can snicker about it, and we do. We do it all the time. We smart things. Do it. Okay, I really think that's that. That's better than you go to the That's what we call it. That's what you see that flying over the slot. Like, oh, that hurts me. And when you get hit, it's the same way. That's what you want to do. If you get into a fight, you're probably going to get hit. That's good. I wasn't sorry. Okay. That's part of this. So just hitting hard is one thing. Being able to take it, control it, like this is a way to receive the technique. Like it worked for me even in the tournament, which is straight. Get back at it. If your stance isn't strong and you're not strong in the hips, doesn't matter what you do up here. Right? You got to hit it properly, breathe properly, and even do posture. Really well. Well, me too, because there, just like that. That's what you want to do. Both feet. Okay, so somewhere between looking down and bending over and head up, moving away is a happy medium. Right, your chins bend over your center and you just completely reverse it. Or turn to your center.
That means it came in this way.
That's hard to hang.
This is easy to do. Right?
Right down, like along the line of your open, so it pushes up versus where it's coming out. All right, now we're going to do all three. So we've just been doing that, seeking on each other. We go slow, we're going to pivot. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2.
I can't keep going.
Yeah, this is all coordination. Yeah. 1, 2. Good. We haven't even gotten the legs involved yet. We can start doing kicks too. Start slow, speed it up. Don't try to kill each other. That's you guys. So you can start with your right hand out on your opponent's abdomen. Start with your right hand out. When I give the command, we're going to pivot and do it with the left hand. Turn that seat again. Right hand. Left seat. There you go. That's it.
Come back. Ready? You all right? Sorry.
Practice, but you have to practice it. Right mindset. Don't damage yourself too much. Right? And we learn how we're actually throwing those blocks, whether we're doing it properly or not. Right? The other thing it teaches us is full motion in our techniques. One of the things people have asked me is like, well, how come when I come out there to Kumite and spar, it doesn't look anything like what I do in Waza? Well, in Waza, you've got a full-on attack. In Kumite, you generally don't. Right? Your opponent is holding back. So, and I don't mean I'm not trying to kill you. I mean, I'm not attacking you with a technique worthy of a full Waza, is what I mean. Right? So, if I'm sitting here fighting somebody and you're going to need karate to beat that guy. Right? And you're not going to be able to pull off a full waza because he's not giving you a full attack. Right? So, what we're going to do is
do our waza, we kind of build up to a lot of different things here. The attack is not going to come from a full a yumiashi, it will come from a full tsugiashi, right? So as I attack Mr. Trout, I'm coming in here, right? It's not that, it's still a full tsugiashi. I'm going to do that. We'll do, we're going to go to the inside for a very specific reason because this waza's not done yet. So as Mr. Trout attacks, I'm going to slide in, block, shoot out to the net. Okay. Yes, this is here, and yes, this will be coming at us next before we even get our attack off. But I want to get to the point of where as he step slides in, I slide across. Yeah. I don't really even care what this block is, just do something that has viability. I'm doing a haito, so I make contact here. So I'm up and ready for that mako. Whatever you throw, that's fine. It could be a marote, followed by a seigin, pivot, do whatever you want. Okay. Practice the waza off of a tsugiyashi. Anybody ever do that? You ever do that in your dojo?
Really? Why not?
Good question. Go on.
Right? So really, if you think about it, tsugiyashi is half of an yumiashi, and it's a valid attack. We can still train our wazas against that. Now, also when we're lining up to do this, the I don't know how it would work, like the Mullins style, which is a family style of Goshin Jutsu that's a Mullins style. Is when we line up to fight, I always go toe to toe. To the point of a lot of our sparring matches in the dojo begin the first 2 or 3 minutes of, no, not true. It's all that. The legend, like, okay, take whatever side. The reason being, very easy to get to the outside if he comes in, fewer hands and feet on this. So, and it's also the hardest for this guy to get in on this, so we want to make it super easy for him. Like here, now we're going to end up chest up, fighting all the hands and all the feet on the same side. The other thing is it's harder to get that Kazushi on this side, right? That if he comes in, I'm here, now I've got to get a gi grip, I've got to get something, it's harder for me to do that. If I can get out here, it's super easy for me to get a Kazushi. So let's practice, he's going to be doing the step slide, I'm going to be doing a yumiashi and coming all over. Right? Got it?
Hey.
Question? All right, good. Let's get it. Side facing me will attack first. Again, you guys are starting there, and you're just going to do and get the full attack. That's the point, right? That's what I started with. You guys come up and do kumite. You don't give your opponent the full attack. Let's do that.
You're not punching. You're right. You try again.
That's the magic of it. It seems like the magic distance.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're beating him all over the place. His center's out there.
Toes on the floor. Do that step slide. Hip the ground with your toes. Slide. Other side attack.
You're on, you're on the attack this time. Whichever side you like goes forward. Try to line up toe to toe. Same hand. It's easier. Do the same hand that blocks. So, right here, and it's facing the door. Yes. And then forward. Once that strike
Is that on the sheet? Look, I'm doing soccer.
So I'm saying, those people come up to the shoot. What do you know? Because you're going to be attacked. It makes perfect sense. So, I just told these guys a couple of things. The reason I'm doing this on the same side for the block and the strike is it's super similar to I didn't just make that up.
This stuff actually works. It is. It's all connected. Are you starting to see it?
Try not to push off. I'd say you don't want to block the game. Push off. Yeah, so that right here. Yes. Receive the technique. Receive. You know what I mean? By receive, let him do his technique. That's not a bad thing. That's he's making it harder, so that's okay. Variation. So step up. You do that height. Martial arts too. We do it. Wow. I've never seen that before. Yeah, just Move my line.
What's really good about surfing?
Yeah, so who you know, turn on it. Check over. Let's add on to this. Step slide up. So now my opponent's coming with a 1-2 strike. I'm not going to step in because I guarantee I'll know this is going to happen. Right? So as he comes in, I'm going to slide back. 1, 2, 3. Note, I'm not doing a full step slide back. My Tai Sabaki, don't touch my foot. If I step slide back, it's probably going to get me clipped. What I want to do is really just kind of set back to Nigoashi. So as he comes, open it up. He throws the next one, I set the foot down, slide back. Right? But it's another thing that kind of comes from this. If you practice this properly and with the right attitude, it will help out your career. And here's how. There's a real reluctance, for lack of a better term, to let my opponent pull off his shoe. No, I'm going to stop you when you start doing this. And I love it too. Good old Goshin, he starts moving. That's great. Until he's as good as me, or has the same attitude as me. And we end up not so much. Let him develop his technique. Okay? Let him do a couple of things. Be confident. If I see people just jamming and trying to stop people, that means I gotta stop this from happening or I'm gonna die. Nope. Throw every technique you want, that's a great idea. As a matter of fact, my favorite thing to do to my students when they throw a punch at me with this side is, great idea. Good work out for you. But what I want to be able to do is let him throw a couple of things, right? So, I don't have to move that fast. Right? I'm letting him develop his technique, and I'm looking for a very specific thing. This concept in combat kind of goes with my, but it's like my in motion, called skid, which means a momentary pause in combat. Right? It's always going to happen. No matter what kind of flurry of techniques this guy throws, at some point he's going to go, shit, how did that happen? And then he goes, shit, that's when he hits. Right? But to get him there, you got to let him do that and give space in the combat for that to happen. Does it make any sense? That's what we're training here. And that's the feeling we want when we do this. Let him develop some technique. When he goes, I didn't hit him. That's when we go. Right? We wait for that momentary pause. Try it. So one more time. So as he attacks, 1, 2, 3. I'm keeping this the same. You can do whatever you like. The important things are Tai Sabake, Uke, Kuzushi, Cow. Right? So all I'm doing from this side is 1, 2, 3.
try it. Alright, so to make this one even more difficult, alternate attacks back and forth. This side attacks first, and that side. This side. Don't punch each other in the head. Yeah. This side attack first, and you go to side facing these, that much. You guys ever do that in your class? Alternate sides every time. Why does it make it so difficult for people?
Well, part of it is,
Two times you go in the
it's fun to switch stations, yeah. Good. Yeah.
And then now I'm ready. I have to switch over to right. And now I'm quite
Yep. So he's coming. You're attacking? Yeah. So he attacks, all you do is slide back to the one stance, and you set that one down, go, and now I'm the attack.
right, it gets it's totally right. It's
Get behind this guy.
Now I'm going to attack him behind him. So we're going to do that. Alright, but now we step back. And I'm going to do attack. Or to the back. But switch your feet against the
You don't have to do it that way, but it works better. As the attack. Oh, both on the end. Yep.
I was doing it wrong.
But once you get it, it's just there.
See? And really, that would be how you attack.
Right.
Squad, right? Would be not the mission.
you build it up. And if we had the time, like Mr. Troutman and I work on sometimes where there's enough techniques that you totally rotate and the attacker becomes the defender and the defender becomes the attacker. And it's almost like a multi-person combat. And it works that way if you do it correctly. Okay? Again, the ultimate expression of all this stuff is to get to the point of applying Hale or strategy. And strategy is not, I'm going to step here, press in there, punch here. It's like, you have to think, I'm going to control my opponent's activities by making him do exactly what I want. And then he will be where I want. I'm moving around a lot. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'll try to match
He
you.
will be where I want, and it's easier for me to land techniques. A very simple one is called Suietsu, which means the moon in the water. It's the parable of the monkey trying to grab the moon in the water, and he falls in and drowns. I can't get the moon. That's what we want our opponent to do. The problem is people try to do it, or they go, oh, I do this all the time. I try to sucker people in by giving them a big old opening. Ain't nobody falling for that, right? Unless it's a very simple person. Probably could get some people to fall for it. Better ways to do it. So a good example, and I do this all the time with folks, if we're going to spar, I'm going to come in and I'm going to throw a hard, fast punch right here. This is where this is where I want to go. Right there. As I come in, this is the one I really want. I make him grab for the moon in the water. Right? So if I'm coming in and he goes, I'm going to get that. But it's not. Right? As he goes, I circle it. So some of these drills we're doing, we're throwing multiple techniques off of one hand. Helps us do that. It's also not going to work if I give him this. He's going to go, what the hell was that? It's got to be, he's got to think, I'm going to punch him. Made him grab me. Okay? The reason most of the time it doesn't work when we're out here sparring is because I'm not going to lose. I'm not going to lose. That's not the point, right? No, if you're fighting in a tournament, yeah, the point is to not lose. You should, this is going to be a weird thing to say. You should alternate turns dying in the dojo. The dojo is a place where we can die 1,000 times, so we don't have to do it when we walk out of the dojo. Right? And I've said this to a lot of folks too. A lot of folks think, oh, you got that red belt on, you got a candy cane belt on. Nobody can touch you. If Mr. Trout and I go out to spar and he doesn't land a few techniques on me, I suck as an instructor. He better be able to do it. Because if you think about it, when we practice Waza and the guy comes in full bore, who loses? The guy coming in full bore. Right. Right. So the Kumite should work the same way. Why doesn't it? Because nobody wants to lose. Nothing makes me happier than somebody laying a good technique on it. That's strange, isn't it? And again, it's that Goshin giggle. If I step out here and throw something that Mr. Trout unloads a good one. Yeah. On the other hand, if he gives me one of these, dude, that's nothing. What was that? Or throws a strike and hits me and falls on the ground. If it was up to me, any tournament, if you fell on the ground, the fight is over. You have lost. Because in reality, my goal in a fight is to throw you on the ground and stomp on your head until you quit moving. That sounds pretty harsh, but it's true. And
He had it coming.
it's all over our katas, isn't it? I have thrown him on the ground and smashed his head until he quit moving. But to make this stuff work, you have to full-on attack. And that doesn't mean you smash somebody if they screw up, right? So if I give the full-on attack and Mr. Trout doesn't get out of the way, I'm just going to touch him. I'm not going to kill him. I'll let him know I hit him, but I won't kill him. Okay? So the whole idea when people are like, well, why doesn't my kumite look like my wands? Well, it's because you don't practice that way. Go out there and fight each other hard, and be just as happy when you lose as when you win. And eventually, you're not going to lose that much. So let's practice this Sogetsu a little bit. Okay? Now, our opponents are going to know what we're doing, so it takes some of the fun out of it, right? But they may not know where we're aiming, which is also good. So we can let everybody get the feeling of this. So again, we'll line up on this toe-to-toe. I'm going to be doing my same step slide in, and my goal is to throw a punch right to that shoulder, right? So if he doesn't do anything, even his hand's in front of him, it's going in, right? It's going right in. But what I want him to do is actually come after it. And I end up with the strike. But again, it's not, I get the right here, it's almost full extension when he hits it, and I relax, throw it back. And that's exactly, I'm relaxing. Right back to half a secant, right? And go. Not pulling straight back, and definitely not pushing against it. As I come in, move up, go. Got it?
Hype.
Let's try it back and forth. The hard part for people attacking is going to be aiming through the hand with one feet and not reacting against that hand when it tries to block. Because remember, it's not blocking you, it's receiving you.
Switching or
Yeah, switch back and forth. Yeah, switch back and forth. Whichever side you like. If he switches stances, you switch stances. Always want lined up with him.
with the body.
Right. Yeah. Oh, okay.